Hey guys, it's Maggie. I was just in a play. It was my school play and it was about a romance that took place at Villain Institute for Learning Evil. We are the cutest cast. And although I had so much fun at this play and everything went well, that has not always been true for every play that I've been in. I thought it would be a fun idea to share some of my theater horror stories with you. I'm gonna start off with a more recent one that happened last year when my school was doing a Christmas Carol and I was playing Scrooge. At the end, the Ghost of Christmas Future brings Scrooge into the graveyard and shows him his own grave. So we had a little styrofoam grave. What was supposed to happen was me and the Ghost of Christmas Future were supposed to do the whole graveyard scene in front of the curtain, and the gravestone was supposed to be moved and then the curtain would open and then we'd go to my scene in my bedroom. I was nearing the end of the graveyard scene and I just had one more scene until I could bow and then go to the cast party and finally get that pizza that I was waiting for. We finish and I go through the side door and then I run up on stage and I crawl into the bed as the curtain is closed. The curtain starts to open, the lights come up, I wake up from my bed, I look on stage, and the gravestone is still there. I look to the side at my director and he looks at me just like, oh my god. The monologue that I was supposed to give was about how I was waking up and kind of figuring out if this was a dream or real life, and then I figure out it is real life. So what I did is I kind of tried to incorporate it into the monologue and I was like, is this a dream? Is this a dream? Oh, well there's a gravestone, so it must be a dream. And then I was like, I'm just going back to bed. And then the people that moved the props. Everything kind of worked out and now it's just a funny story to tell. The next one didn't actually happen to me. It happened at Disney, but I was in the audience, but it is definitely one of the funniest things that I've ever seen happen at Disney. No matter how professional or amazing you are, you're still gonna make mistakes sometimes, and I think this was really an eye-opener for me. What happened is we were seeing the Little Mermaid play. I never knew this, but the Disney stages are actually kind of like panels that can move up and down, and I didn't even know that that existed when I was that young. The rock that Ariel was on was supposed to rise up out of the ground and then move to the side, and then the floor panel was supposed to close so that you could walk right over it. So Ariel is on a rock, brushing her hair, looking flawless, and Eric and his dog come in, and Eric goes on stage first and he looked down and noticed the hole, and I could kind of see that I'm smiling, but I'm actually freaking out, and he just walks around it and then goes to Ariel and just continues. Now the dog, I don't know what it is like in that costume, but I don't think he can see that well. He just runs and falls. They just keep going on with the scene, and I don't know how this happened, but somehow the dog just snuck on stage. You know how painful that probably is? What is down there? My next horror story happened when I was in the 4th grade and I was doing a Christmas play at this church, and I was playing Mrs. Claus. I had a bunch of little elves and we had a song in it. It was called Holly Jolly Christmas. I was supposed to sing the first line of the song and then the elves were supposed to join in and sing the rest of the song. At the time, I was not as comfortable as I am on stage now, so I was really nervous even to sing 5 words. As the scene is starting to approach the song, I look over at the elves and they seem very unusually nervous. I just had this intuition that something was gonna go wrong. I think the most interesting thing about doing plays with such a close cast is that you can sense when something isn't right. Oh my god, I am so scared. I don't even know what I'm scared for, but they're scared, so I should be scared. The music starts to play, I get up, and somehow all of this nervousness just goes away, and I sing the first line of the song very loudly. The note plays, and from right on then, I knew they weren't gonna sing their part. Crazy how all of them were thinking the same thing. I'm just realizing that most of these horror stories end up with me just completely going off script. What I did is I started singing their part. I was like, girl, if you're not gonna sing it, I would love more solos. The next story also happened a really long time ago, right when I started getting into plays. I have no idea how the director even got into this position because she was so crazy and just so off and just had no idea what she was doing. We did Alvin and the Chipmunks, but the only difference is we didn't like watch the movie or find the script online. The art director didn't even know what Alvin and the Chipmunks was before we explained it. Our lady just had a notepad and we would tell her what to say, and of course we're like 6 years old, we have no idea what we're doing. Nobody got a part that was right for them because all of the names were pulled out of a hat and nobody got a part that fit their type of acting. There was no set, no anything. We kind of just did it in like the hallway of a school. I could make like an entire like half an hour video on this place because it was absolutely awful. I don't even think we had ever even practiced our scene. When I say it was thrown together like a day before and a lot of it 5 minutes before, I'm not kidding. So I go out in my grandma. So I go out as the grandma and I sit in my chair and I start saying my lines, and there was a point in the lines that the chipmunks, the main characters, were supposed to come in and do their thing. So I look over at them, like kind of giving them the eyes, like come over, and it's kind of just a known thing that when somebody looks at you with those eyes, like eyes can speak so much. I can have like an entire conversation in eye contact. But they did not speak my eye language, so they just stayed over there, and there was no backstage. Everybody was kind of in a huddle over here, and then there was the stage over here, and they just kind of went in it, and then the director was like awkwardly standing in the middle, like, you know, pulling kids and then throwing them on stage. And the director had no idea what was going on. She was probably on something. She was just kind of looking up into the sky like, I just kind of pretended that they were there, and I just kept talking. The adults in the audience, they say the audience never knows if there's a mess up, but trust me, everybody knew it. These people were laughing at me. Just imagine a 4-foot tall version of me in a gray wig going like this, talking to a person as if they were there when they are not there at all. And the director was 2 feet away from me, having no idea what was going on, probably drunk. Her eyes were like rolling around. What? How did this lady become a director? You know what? I think I'm gonna make an entire story time, like an extended story time video just on that lady because she was definitely on something. Alright guys, that is it for this week's video. Let me know in the comments below if you've ever done theater in your life, and if you have, how often do these things happen to you? Because these things happen to me all the time and they are so traumatizing, but they are a funny story to look back on later. I have about 1 million of these horror stories. Some of them are way worse, so if you want to know the really juicy ones, make sure to like this video so I know, and comment down below, and make sure to subscribe because I make new videos every Monday and Friday.